media centre here at the DP World Tour Championship. Delighted to be joined by Viktor Hovland. Viktor, returning to Dubai, you were T3rd here last year, and you come here with a chance to finish first on the rankings. Just how much are you looking forward to this week?
Yeah, no, it's good to be back here. Last time I was here was COVID year, so not a lot of grandstands, so it's cool to come back and see the place a little bit differently. I think the course is great. It's in great shape, and I feel like my game has been trending in the right direction, so looking forward to the week.
You've hit a really good run of form recently. You say your game's trending. Is there anything in particular you've been working on recently?
It's just kind of trying to simplify things a little bit. I feel like my short game and putting has been very consistent through the last couple of months. I just haven't, frankly, hit the ball well enough to be quite there in contention. Yeah, just basically trying to minimize the curve a little bit, so I know exactly where the ball's going to curve. I might not hit it exactly where I wanted to, but at least I know the dispersion of the shot pattern. You know, I'm not trying to hit a cut and then suddenly there's a pull draw and then you kind of lose confidence to where the ball's going to go. So just trying to keep things simple.
And we're in a position now, the Ryder Cup points race has started up again. How much is that playing on your mind, and also how much are you looking forward to hopefully pulling on that Team Europe jersey again?
Yeah, obviously Ryder Cup is a big goal, and you want to make the team every time. It's not something that I think too much about each week, because obviously it's a year from now. It's more about just controlling the things that I can control day in, day out. If I play the golf that I know I'm capable of playing, I should be on that team. So it's more about thinking about just my game every day and trying to get the best out of every single day.
So to questions, please. I'll start with Jamie.
Hi, Viktor. Obviously, you won up the road here in January and took down Mr. McIlroy. I wouldn't call it, he didn't have anything like a slump after that. You finished second at Arnold Palmer, but then you had a little bit where you maybe wobbled a little. Is that fair enough?
Yeah, it was golf is a little frustrating sometimes where, certain weeks hit the ball really, really well, but then haven't putted it very good or lost some shots around the greens, and then been working really, really hard on the green and around the greens, and then that has gotten a little bit better, but then the ball striking hasn't been as good. So it's just kind of the nature of the game. I would have liked to have played a little bit better throughout the summer. I feel like I'm kind of getting back to the same old ball striking days. I'm hitting a little bit further, but I'm kind of getting back to a little bit of the predictability of the shots, instead of trying to shape it too much or overthink about where not to miss it, where to miss it. It's more just instinctual, more reactionary, and I feel like that's I'm in a way better spot right now than I was a few months ago, but it's just the nature of the game.
And the Sunday at St Andrews, did that affect you at all?
Not really. It was just one of those days I didn't, I think I shot 2 over par, but it was like I hit a lot of good shots, just I didn't quite get close enough to the pins, and especially with how St Andrews was set up, you had to birdie the easy holes and then basically just par a lot of the holes where the pins were tucked because you just couldn't really get close. You had to make long putts to make a birdie. So I actually felt like I did a pretty good job with, I feel like if this would have been a couple of years ago, I would have maybe started firing at pins that I weren't supposed to be firing at. I just didn't get any momentum going on early and didn't birdie the easy holes. It's just one of those days.
So we'll go to Joy, please.
Viktor, there's a strange coincidence that 3 of you, Matt, Colin, and you, who started playing almost at the turned professional almost at the same time. You guys, all 3 of you were playing so well, and then came a period when all 3 of you were struggling a bit. Even Colin, who is so good with his irons and everything, he has been struggling a bit at almost the same time that you have, and Matthew has. Have you guys ever discussed something between you as to what's happening, or do you talk to each other? I know Colin is a very good friend of yours.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, I think that's kind of the last thing you want to do when you're with your other competitors and friends. No one really wants to hear about the other person's game. You know, you're just there to hang out, and we kind of know how everyone else is playing. It's just, again, it's just the nature of the game. Sometimes you're playing really well, and sometimes you're in a little bit of a slump. I think it's just the nature of how things go, because you want to try to get better all the time. You don't want to do the same things every single day. You want to try to improve, and then sometimes when you improve, it's kind of a new territory. And sometimes it's hard to predict. Even though you think you've gotten better, it's not necessarily that you're going to get everything out of that on the golf course in the tournament. So I think it's a little bit of, you take one step forward, one step back, one step forward, one step back, but then you hope at the end of it you're still a little further forward than you were before. So yeah, it's just one of those things.
Thanks, Troy. Any more questions? Go to Bernie.
Victor, just curious, have your clubs turned up yet?
Yeah, I got them last night, so it was nice to play with them in the Pro-Am.
And you were saying that yesterday, that it's not the first time it's happened this year. How disruptive is it for you when your clubs, and other players, when your clubs don't turn up in terms of preparations for a big event like this?
Yeah, it's a little bit annoying. I remember, I mean, the first time it happened this year was in Hawaii, Kapalua, and I'd spent 3.5 weeks in Norway, basically didn't touch a club, and then I'm supposed to fly halfway across the world and play golf against the best players in the world, and you haven't really seen the ball fly in a month. So I decided to get there a week early to get some practice in, and then when you don't get your clubs for that whole week, I mean, it's just, it feels like you're showing up to an exam and you haven't studied for it. So it's not the best feeling. But you know, it's you kind of have to look at it as a challenge, I guess. It's you know, similar to what happened in Mexico when I broke my driver and I didn't have my driver and I borrowed someone else's. It's, you know, it's not ideal, but you can kind of turn it into a challenge and see how well you can do. And yeah, sometimes it might work out better than you think.
We'll go back to Jamie.
This is an odd one, and I don't even know why I'm asking it really, but I will anyway. Have you ever met Erling Haaland?
I have not met him.
Right. What do you know about him? Do you know much about him?
I don't follow football very much. We've exchanged some messages online.
Yeah.
And obviously keep up a little bit in the media. He's obviously what he's doing is pretty incredible. So it's cool to watch from that perspective. But again, I don't follow football too closely. But I know he's a big deal.
And he's a keen golfer himself. Did you know that? And is that what the messages are about?
No, I did not know about that. I know he's a big watch guy, so we were talking about watches a little bit back and forth. So, but no, I didn't know he played golf.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jamie. And on that note, Victor, thank you very much for your time.
Yep.
Enjoy the week.
Thank you.